Well, this year in high school football, there will be a heavy focus on concussions. Westfield High has taken it seriously. Their players are wearing these brain sentry impact sensors. They'll light up red whenever a player takes a hit that could cause a concussion, alerting their training staff. In fact, the IHSAA has launched a website this season to track concussions. It's a cause that Simpson Ganassi helmets have tackled, you might say, head on, and a safety measure that is certainly nothing new for its founder, Bill Simpson.
As concussions have become a greater emphasis in football, the prevention of the brain injury has as well for Bill Simpson. We were the first to get an in-depth look at his concepts 2.5 years ago after he partnered with IndyCar and NASCAR team owner Chip Ganassi.
I don't have any idea what the other helmet companies are thinking, nor do I care. If we can build a better mousetrap and we can save these kids from having these horrible head injuries, that's what we're going to do.
And this is what it looks like now. What started off as a few handmade helmets has blossomed into full production at Simpson Ganassi Helmets in Brownsburg. All the result of a chance meeting a few years ago with then Colts offensive coordinator Tom Moore, who challenged Simpson to make a safer helmet.
He goes, "You think you could do better?" And I said, "I don't know." And then Tom says, "I'm sure you could do better, couldn't you, Simpson?" And I went, "Yeah, I could do better."
And that started the whole thing.
Yes, it did.
The next thing you know, look at all this.
Yeah, I know. Ganassi says, "I want to be involved," because he says, "I know what you're going to do, and I know where you're going." I said, "Yeah, I want to be with kids. I think that's what we should do, is we should concentrate on them little kids so that the moms don't worry about this."
The journey for Simpson is a story all its own. A pioneer for nearly 60 years in racing safety, having once set himself on fire to prove his concepts worked. A stunt revisited for a current car ad.
Some people go to enormous lengths in the name of safety, like the inventor of the flame-resistant racing suit, Bill Simpson.
Truly a man who's prepared to do what it takes.
A lot of this translates what you did with racing safety right into football, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's the same technology, but with a lot of modifications.
The bottom line is this: helmets that are made of a carbon fiber Kevlar composite, providing, he says, half the weight of traditional helmets, but with 2 times the protection.
It's 925 grams. This is one that's a competitive model that's incomplete, 1,705 grams.
800 grams difference, what we're looking at.
Yes. That's almost 2 pounds.
The company's illustrations explain that with less weight comes less jarring of the brain inside the skull, with the goal of starting early, where youth will be served.
It's going to have to start at the youth level, and high school coaches are catching on to this thing.
Yeah, they are. Big time, yes.
No, don't worry about that.
Several high schools around central Indiana have begun to use the Simpson Ganassi helmet, including Center Grove and head coach Eric Moore.
It's new modern day technology. It's lightweight, and I've said all along that, and I think Mr. Simpson's whole key in building this was make a helmet light enough and kids won't want to use their head. And I think this makes kids, not tackle with the butt of their head.
About half of Center Grove's football team uses the helmet, and concussions, Moore says, are down by some 60%.
Paralysis and head injury, that's just, I have 2 kids that play football of my own. And 30 years of doing it, thank God nothing like that's ever happened. But I fear that. I think probably all the time I think about stuff like that, the kind of hits a kid will take. I really feel this helmet has made a difference. And it can make a difference in our industry.
Offensive lineman Tyler Horn is hooked while seeing 2 sides of the business. After playing college ball at Miami, he now uses the helmet as a member of the Tennessee Titans. And on the manufacturing side of things, he's married to one of Simpson's assistants. He's heard the questions.
It's the look test. It looks different than I've seen. It feels different than what I've ever felt before. And people are, scared of change. It's the age-old story. Oh, that looks different. I want to try that. Well, like I said before, there's an issue, and someone is trying to solve that issue.
The fact that man behind it had a similar goal in motorsports makes it work for Horn as well.
I figured, okay, this guy's making my helmet. I think I'll be all right. That guy can walk away from that. They can walk away from a big hit. If you had to carry around a 5-pound backpack for however long, or a 2-pound backpack for however long, obviously you're going to be less tired carrying a 2-pound backpack and be able to go farther. You know, hopefully you can go the entire season without having anything happen.
To change your methodology.
He's a man who continues to spend his own energy to lessen the amount of dangerous energy towards others, one day at a time.
We've had now 2.5 years experience with all these high school kids, and it makes a big difference, especially in their performance.
I mean, think about the tweaking you've done
And still doing it.
And you're still doing it.
Yeah.
Every day this thing gets better.
Yes, it does. I can assure you that that's a fact.
In all honesty, it's not like he really needed to get into this industry, but he's doing it because there's an issue, something needs to be done, and he is the best person to fix that issue.
I feel that it's going to make it a safer game. No one can stand up there and say they can prevent anything, but not many other helmets or helmet makers have been upside down on Indianapolis Motor Speedway, and their helmets make it through.
How much satisfaction do you have? You're seeing results.
Yes.
You're seeing this labor of love now really work out for you.
We need to be with our heart in this thing for the kids, and if we have a bunch of NFL players wearing them, and that's fine. It's good for them. It's good for us. But my focus is for kids.
The general consensus is this: it's impossible perhaps to fully prevent concussions, but if you can somehow reduce the amount, well, then you see the goal of Bill Simpson.